Right. So yeah, I was interested in knowing a little bit more about your story, about what you have done in the last few years, and how you ended up doing what you are currently doing. So if you don't mind just introducing a little bit more about yourself, about your business, and the story behind it, that would be great.
Yeah, thanks. Right now we are 100% into IT, into technology, and we are implementing and doing developments, implementations, and support for Odoo ERP. And so that's what we do right now. But of course, it wasn't overnight. It was an evolution. We started back in 2018, probably, when at that time we were doing structure wiring, electrical wiring, lighting, and all these things. And we had for our own business to implement some technology that allows us to manage all these inventory and services and things, because managing all these in Excel spreadsheets was becoming a real nightmare, right? So we started looking for solutions, and then I spoke to a friend, and he was telling me that a couple years before that he was implementing an ERP, and he told me about Odoo. And so that was probably 2017 when he told me, 2016 maybe. And but at that time I was busy doing other things, so I kept that on hold. But then when I got to the problem with my own company, I decided to give him a call and talk again about it. And that's when we started implementing Odoo for our own company, right? But then 2020 pandemic came, everything shut down, and so revenue went to zero. And so we had to completely close the electrical wiring and structure wiring business, and we switched into Odoo 100% at that time. And since then we've been doing Odoo 100%. So that's the quick story
Right.
of how we ended up doing this.
Super
We're
interesting.
saying.
If people don't know what Odoo is, do you mind explaining a little bit more about what Odoo does for a business?
Yeah, no problem. So basically, Odoo is an ERP software. ERP is enterprise resource planning. So it is a tool to manage all the resources that you have available in your company. So it is a modular solution. It has a CRM, customer relationship management, purchasing, sales, inventory, manufacturing, and many other modules that we can use to properly manage our business,
Okay.
right? So it is like SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, all these other companies that have similar solutions. The main difference, or the main advantage that I see in Odoo, is that it is open source, or open core as they call it for the enterprise version. And this is what makes it really, really robust and really big, because it has a huge community worldwide, permanently doing research, doing new developments all the time. Right now it's in more than 140 countries, and they have offices in about 18 countries right now. So it has been a real growth, and the growth of the company has been progressive. They haven't been taking money from big investors, or things like this. They have taken some investments, but they haven't been really putting tons of money into the business. Instead, they have been doing organic growth, and building the business from within. And that's the good thing. I think in a few years, Odoo will be probably the biggest ERP in the world.
Oh,
At the
wow.
rate that it's going, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the biggest ERP. Yeah,
Amazing.
so that's how it
So,
is.
thank you for sharing that. So, if I'm a business owner and I want to implement this ERP system, what do you recommend is the first step? And what sort of issues or problems will that solve for me?
Yeah, well, most companies share the same kind of problems. Depending on the business, of course, there are particular things that you need to look at specifically, but in general, all the companies share pretty much the same problems. And the problems are that if your company is very big and you already have an ERP like SAP, Oracle, or something else, probably you're already spending a ton of money, millions of dollars into your ERP. So if you compare that to Odoo, Odoo is a cost-effective solution that has the same robustness as the big brands as SAP, Oracle, or any other ERP solution that you might have already in your company. So that's one thing. So for big companies that have been using the technology for some years now and they see Odoo, it's probably a good idea to migrate. Actually, I have a good success story about a company with thousands of employees, millions of revenue per year, and they were using SAP and they decided to move into Odoo because they were gonna save millions. And right now they are using Odoo 17, but they started using Odoo when they were in version 13. The latest version of Odoo right now is version 18, right? So that's for big businesses or for companies that even if they're not big, they have some legacy technology that they have been using for a while now, and they want to move into something that is more cost effective and has the same robust infrastructure behind it. So that's one case. The other case are companies that are smaller, that are probably coming from using Excel spreadsheet, probably using QuickBooks, Asana, or all these other tools that we have online that we call them one time or single use applications. All these single use applications, you pay a fee per user or per month or per year or whatever it is, and then you have access to their technology. But if you do it like this, you end up having QuickBooks on one hand, you have 1,000 Excel spreadsheets all over the place, and you have accounting, you have HR, and you have treasury, manufacturing, inventory, all these different things. And you end up having like what we call a spaghetti diagram. So the spaghetti diagram is having all kinds of different software solutions and all kinds of pieces of information here and there, but when you want a consolidated report, you're not able to get it, or at least not in real time. You might get your information, but it's not real time. You cannot take or you cannot make quick decisions with that information. And it's always painful because the managers and the owners of the company are always depending on someone else, and at the end of the day, it usually blows in accounting. Accounting is usually where everything blows up. So you start calling the accountant, hey, I need information about this, about that. And the accountant says, no, I'm busy right now. I'm doing taxes. I'm doing whatever he's doing or she, but there is no availability when you need it, right?
Yeah.
So my idea or my view at this point is it switches or it changes the whole perspective for the owners and the managers of the business, because you have the whole visibility in real time, and now it's the managers and the owners in control of the information. And now that you have visibility, you can make proper decisions and start requesting things from your different departments, from your different persons, from your teams, from your people. And this is a very good way to organize your business and grow in an organized manner. So that's what I think.
Okay. No,
Very
that's
good.
yeah, understandable. Now, I have a question regarding AI because new AI is the new kid on the block, and a lot of people think AI will solve most of these issues. What's your take on that?
Well, Odoo and any other ERP solution that you might have is a good solution for automation. So the first step before AI is automation. If you already have some sort of automation, if you already have some tools that help you do repetitive tasks over and over with a software or with a machine or a computer, anything that can be automated is a huge candidate for AI. anything that is a repetitive process, anything that is something that consumes a lot of time because you have to do it over and over and over, that is a perfect candidate for AI. And of course, Odoo and some of the Odoo processes can be optimized with AI. And of course, Odoo and the database behind it is the fuel for the AI that you can use in the future.
So that means that if companies and yeah, like owners don't have the data in a single place, it will be really hard anyway for an AI system to help.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. The fuel or the food, the materials that you are going to consume when you have AI are all the different pieces of information that you have from your company, from your operation. So the first step is having a tool to collect, to gather all this information, put it all together in an organized manner, in a structured database. And that's the first step to be able to use AI properly. Because of course, if you have all these different Excel spreadsheets and all these things, you can still use AI, but the task will be harder if you want to put it that way. So if you already have a database and your information is organized, or maybe you have a couple databases where everything's there, you can start from it. But if not, my suggestion is you need to start putting everything together first, and then when you have everything in order, you can go to the next step, which is improvement, automation, and AI, of course.
Okay, that's yeah, that's a good advice. Anything else that you would advise business owners in terms of improving their businesses with technology? Anything they need to know? Anything they need to consider?
Well, yeah, there are lots of things, but my best of advice would be start right now. Start as soon as you can, because this is a long process. It won't be overnight when you decide to implement a technology like an ERP and databases and all these things related to IT. And it won't be as fast as anyone expects. So from the customer standpoint, of course, I would like to have my business organized and working properly as soon as possible. But this is a long process depending on the size of the company and depending on how many processes you want to integrate into the technology. It will take more time. On average, for a medium-sized company, it will take anywhere from a year to 2 years to have the technology in such a state that you can say, okay, now I can pull reports, now I can automate and optimize processes, and now I can start using AI tools to improve all these things and to automate even more,
Yeah,
right? So it takes time. So my best advice is start as soon as you can, and of course be prepared, because this is like having a child. If you have a child, you cannot say 1 year after you raising your child, okay, I'm tired of you, I'm gonna get rid of you, I don't want you anymore. It's not like that. It's for a long commitment, it's a long term thing. And in a way, that's a good analogy, because once you decide to implement a technology like this and then improve it with tools like AI, it will take time, and of course it's a continuous improvement process, and it won't be over ever. So you need to continuously do things and bring more information, organize, and grow. Of
yeah,
course, all the purpose of this is have your company grow in an organized manner. That's the way.
yeah. I love the analogy, and I also like that you mentioned that continuous improvement is something that you do. Like a lifestyle. It's not something that is
Mhm.
a one off. So yeah, appreciate the advice. Appreciate the time today, James. Anything else you wanna say?
Well, no, of course. Thanks for your time too. It's been a very rewarding experience talking to you today. And hopefully, we will be talking to new customers, new companies, new people that need our knowledge, our consulting services. So we will be here to help anyone, any company that needs our services.
Sounds amazing. Thank you very much for your time, James. Really appreciate it.